So here's a little thought experiment for you. What if this entire contagion was a test? A test in our ability to not spread a viral contaminant that could possibly wipe out the entire human planet and leave us with nothing but, animals. And we're extinct. We're gone. Well, we're not doing too shabby, to be honest, with the cases in the U.S. anyways. But this thing originated in China. What if it originated in the U.S.? Well, I think we'd be dead. Although we are pretty dispersed. So rural areas and places like that might be okay. But look at what people did and the way they behaved. Bought 15 rolls of toilet paper, then tried to price gouge people on Amazon. Um, they hoarded a bunch of shit they'll never use. I saw some lady buy 15 gallons of milk, and I thought to myself, that expires in like 2 to 3 weeks. Are you fucking retarded? But she did it anyways, and stupid people do stupid things. So a lot of people wouldn't know the first thing about survival. They wouldn't know bare necessities. They wouldn't know what expires when. They wouldn't understand that if they did all that shit, you're probably not going to live. And that sucks to be you. It really does. Because, well, you're dead. So, but think about it this way. This whole viral contagion, the way it spreads, the places that were hit the most, look at their policies, look at the way their government behaves, and it will tell you at a people level, because we're the ones that elect these people into office for the most part, at least the ones that we can control. So there's a few places that don't do that. China was severely fucked, and they hid as much as they could to show that it wasn't as bad as they were. So I wouldn't even trust the numbers out of China, to be honest. I bet you half their population was fucking contaminated, and they didn't say shit to anybody. But the way they behaved was to hide and suppress the contagion. Italy, full borders, universal health care, free for all. They're almost under a full collapse. The stock markets tanked like nobody's business because everybody was peddling fear. The media soaked it up like a beast. New viral contagion, clickbait everywhere. What does it do to you? Are you okay? Are you safe? And just fed the fear, fanned the flames, if you will. That's a good viral analogy. They fanned the flames of panic among the people. Good job, by the way. That the stock markets and everything else, I'm going to fully blame on the media. That's not Trump's fault. That was the media's fault for over zealously reporting on every little detail that came out about this virus. Should you be concerned? I mean, they even went so far as to convince everybody else this is a real big pandemic and you need to shut the shit down. When in reality, 96% survival rate should not be that concerned. What should have happened, in my opinion, and what did happen, at least in the academic level for those that are in the biosciences, which was very, very brilliant, by the way. They did a very good job. You need to identify the virus. You need to identify its symptoms. You need to identify its survivability. And the only way you can do that is by the people that have already been infected, how many of them are dying? And under what conditions are they dying? Are they dying from the virus itself? Or are they dying from complications of the virus? Well, it just so happens in this one they were dying in complications of the virus. So if you get this and then get pneumonia, then you're not in a good shape. You still might survive, but that's going to be rough. That's when you need to be on respirators and shit like that. But think of it that way. What if this whole thing was a test to see how a bioweapon would get done and spread around the world if somebody was so inclined to be a massive prick and try to kill the planet? What if that was the situation? What if that were the case? How would that come out? How would that be? Would we be safe? Would we be good? I think from looking at the maps, the heat map on the viral contagion list, Russia would be all right, but most of it's frozen. So, you know, they kind of have a nuclear advantage in a manner of speaking. The the other thing that was coming to mind about this viral contagion as a part of a test is the way the media behaved. Did they behave appropriately? Did they do their job? Or did they cause mass havoc, panic, and betray the people yet again? I think it was a good test for them to see what would happen. And of course, they went for the clickbait. They went for the ad revenue. They went for the Corona's doing this, Corona's doing that. The government's decided to do this because we've already created a mass panic over this fucking virus. And yay! Trump evil, orange man bad. That's a couple of things I'd like to point out, actually. When this first came out, Trump banned travel from China. People called him racist. Go fuck yourselves, by the way. After that, he tried to slow it down, tried to calm the panic, saying it's not a big deal, calm the fuck down. It's not going to kill most of you. You got a 4% chance of dying. It's not that bad. Calm down. Did that work? No, not at all. Instead, they picked on him. The media saw another opportunity to go, Orange Man bad, this guy's the devil. Look at all the bad things he's doing. Yay, Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad. Then they went and turned it once he started taking a little bit more seriously because it was getting out of hand, because places like Washington, that's all hippie free, New York, which is highly condensed population, and California, where the traveling bay is, and places like that, he wouldn't let cruise ships dock without first testing the entire fucking ship. I mean, he kind of cracked down and no one fucking cared. He was just trying, in my opinion, he was trying to calm the panic that the media was creating. So he said, this big thing the media is putting together is a massive hoax. What did the media do? Trump said the virus is a hoax. No, that's not what he said. You lied. Again. Good job. And then, at the last round of it, they all started praising him. Don't know why. They flipped the script. But then, recently, China started their anti-propaganda machine. And the Ministry of Truth that they have, which is the intelligence department. I can't remember. They actually have something that sounds similar to Ministry of Truth. It's pretty freaky. But they started saying, no, this was planted in Wuhan by the U.S. Army. As if we have boots and troops on the ground from the U.S. Army. If anybody were to plant this virus, it would have been the CIA. Or not the FBI, but the CIA or freaking SEAL team or something like that. It wouldn't be the Army, of all people. They ain't gonna drop this contagion on a bunch of fucking bats and then have you dumbasses eat them. That's not how that was to work. They'd hit the most densely populated place and just release the shit there. Maybe even put it on your money like they did in Division. That's a good way to circulate something that you have to touch. Is it not? But either way, China started saying it was the U.S.'s fault. The U.S. created this virus and distributed them on the people. The U.S. is to blame. Where does that sound familiar? Oh yeah, Russia's to blame for election meddling and Trump winning. That's the same fucking narrative, just different circumstance. Somebody else is to blame for our failure. That's pretty much what they were doing. So what does Trump do? Starts calling it the China virus. Because China was lying about where the virus came from. So what did the media do? Oh, Trump's racist again. Yeah, good job. Fucking stupid. But either way, I was thinking about this the last few days. What if this was a test of our ability to stem off an actual bioweapon contagion? And then the other circumstance that I was thinking about is, did the media actually do this on purpose, inflate everything that's going on to destroy the economy? Because a lot of them were praying for a recession. Like Bill Mayer said it. The bitches on The View said it. Sorry, Whoopi, but you're now a bitch. I mean, seriously, you need to just shut the fuck up at this point. You guys were talking about how this thing is airborne and shit. You know nothing, all right? All you did was guess and stir up panic because you're fucking crazy and panicked yourselves because you don't know what's going on. You know nothing about the virus, so you panic. Then you spread your panic because you have a big mouth and a big platform. But the virus itself is not all that bad. But our test to see if we can stem off a viral contagion seems to not be doing very well. I don't think we passed the test, as it were, because there's a lot of stuff that just got out on this thing, and it doesn't seem to be that we can stem it off very well, and it doesn't seem that the efforts that we're doing, they kind of, I don't know, they're inadequate, to say the least. But that's not to say that they're not doing well. People are getting help they need. There's fairly few deaths over the coronavirus. There's one guy that actually in Houston who had coronavirus. He was admitted for pneumonia because that's what they thought he had. And they test him for corona, and he had coronavirus and pneumonia. He's still alive, by the way. He did not die. Our first death in Houston was a guy that was 90 years old. So this would call the older generation. Maybe that's why the politicians are panicking, because they're all old, crony fucking men and women. Just fucking ancient people. Skeletor is what Pelosi's being called on the right. And Orange Man Bad, he's 70-something. Freaking Bernie's over 80. If any of them caught corona, they'd be in a world of hurt. But because they're rich some bitches, they'd get the highest quality health care and medical care and probably survive the shit. I mean, if Bush can shoot Cheney in the chest with a fucking shotgun and survive it, I'm pretty sure these guys would be okay too. Anyways, just a slight thought experiment. What if this is an actual bioweapon contagion? How did we do? How did we fare? That's a good conversation point for anybody that's wanting to spit out and talk to people and not be stuck in the little room like I am right now. Another week of this shit, I guess. All right. I'll see you next time. Please like, share, subscribe, all that fun shit. Pass it around because YouTube hates me, apparently. I've had zero growth unless I talk to individual people and then they subscribe, or I get promoted by somebody else that seems to like what I do. So please help me out because YouTube isn't. See you next time.
Dragon Styles agile. It's in the mind. Snake Styles mysterious. It's in the heart. Tiger Styles vicious with strength.